Hey y'all, it's Amanda, and today we're going to be talking about how to start a cut flower garden. Now, for those of y'all who don't know, my background is I used to be a florist and I used to work with all these beautiful cut flowers all the time, which led to me having a lot of interest in gardening. And once I let go of the florist life and I moved on to some other aspects of life, I have really enjoyed growing cut flowers in my garden so I can cut them and bring them into my home. Now, you do not need a big garden to grow your own flower bouquets. Lots of people think you need tons of space. You get on YouTube, you get on Instagram, you get on TikTok, and you see these beautiful, giant, massive gardens that people own. You don't have to have that in order to have cut flowers. In fact, you can grow a surprising amount of flowers in a really small space if you plant the right things, and that's really what it's all about. So today I'm going to show you how to start a cut flower garden, even if you have a really small yard. And this video is going to be really great for beginner gardeners, but it's also going to be really great for seasoned gardeners. Just a few reminders, a few things that you can make some slight changes on in order to maximize the amount of cut flowers you can achieve. All right, so today we're going to talk about what flowers to grow. We're going to talk about how much space you really need, how many plants you need, spacing, succession planting, a simple layout idea, cutting equals more flowers, keeping it simple, and common mistakes. And if you want to skip to one of those different parts, I have all of these different areas listed down below with the timestamps. So what is a cut flower garden anyway? A cut flower garden is designed to grow flowers specifically for cutting, produce continuous blooms, and prioritize productivity over perfection. And that's a really important one. It's not about necessarily being super beautiful. It's about being able to produce quite a bit. This is not about perfect landscaping. This is about growing flowers you can cut over and over again. So the biggest question I get asked is, what flowers do I grow? And I am excited to tell you, I've been growing cut flowers for well over a decade. And then prior to that, I utilized cut flowers as a florist. So I do have quite a bit of experience. Now I am in Texas Zone 8. So a lot of these flowers I'm going to be talking about are ideal for my hot area. For beginners, you want to choose flowers that grow easily from seed. That's got to be one of your goals. Easy to grow from seed. As a beginner, you want flowers that bloom fairly quickly, and you want some flowers that produce multiple stems. And that is going to give you a lot of success right off the bat. So some of the best cut flowers for beginners, in my opinions, are zinnias. Zinnias are fast growing. The more you cut on them, the more they bloom, and they're perfect for a hot summer weather. I also highly suggest sunflowers. They are a great focal flower. They're that wow factor flower in your bouquet. They can be succession planted so you can get blooms over lots and lots of weeks. And they come in many heights, colors, and sizes, which is really fun as well. Next on my list is celosia, and celosia is a heat-loving plant. It has a very unique texture. It has a very feathery texture. It also comes in like a coxcomb or brain-looking texture. It has some very cool textures that you don't typically find in cut flowers, and they are very long-lasting blooms. I also love that celosia will reseed itself for the next season. A few bonus options include cosmos, which are very light, airy, and add a lot of whimsical movement to your bouquets. Basil, which is an excellent filler or foliage for your designs. And marigolds, which are a tried and true variety that grows in the hottest times of the year. Now, there are far more varieties than that. These are just the ones I wanted to touch on, which are key to a very successful cut flower garden that will produce for months and months. All right, so how much space do you really need to have a cut flower garden? Even a 4-foot by 8-foot raised bed can produce multiple bouquets per week. It can produce continuous blooms and tons of color and texture for you. So even if you have as small of a space as a 4-foot by 8-foot bed, you can still have a beautiful cut flower garden that produces tons of blooms. You don't need rows and rows of space. You just need intentional planting within these smaller spaces. So definitely keep that in mind. Now, even if you have a very large space to plant all your cut flowers, you still want to be intentional with your planting. So some of these tips later on might be extremely helpful. All right, how many plants do you need for your garden? So let's start with simple, realistic numbers, and let's really kind of focus on something like a 4-foot by 8-foot bed, or just a basic garden bed. So for a small cutting garden, ideally for something like zinnias, you're going to want between 15 and 25 plants throughout the entire season. You might start with a smaller amount, and then you might add additional plants or seeding throughout the season as some plants peter out or some are more successful than others. But typically zinnias, about 15 to 25 plants. For sunflowers, about 10 to 20 plants. That typically is also really focused on succession planting. If you're starting with 10 sunflower plants, they will come to fruition, and then you can remove those and reseed again in that same space, or you can plant sunflower seeds and then 2 to 3 weeks later plant another round of sunflower seeds in a different spot, and then 2 to 3 weeks later plant another round of sunflower seeds and 2 to 3 in a different spot. So basically that has you flowers blooming at different points but for a longer amount of time. For celosia, I would suggest about 5 to 10 plants. Celosia can reseed very aggressively, so I don't like to start with too many plants, and I actually, when it reseeds itself, I end up thinning those seedlings out quite a bit. I feel pretty good with the celosia plant. That's maybe 5 to 10 celosia plants. You can pinch those earlier on and force branching and get a lot more stems from them. Even with just these simple 3 varieties, zinnias, sunflowers, and celosia, these can produce and yield weekly bouquets in the peak season. So with just these basic plants and these basic numbers, you can have an amazing cut flower garden. You don't need hundreds of plants to start. You just need enough to keep things rotating. So keep that in mind. Okay, let's talk spacing. Spacing is very important for a cut flower garden, especially if you want to keep it productive. Spacing is often misunderstood within a cut flower garden. For spacing for cut flowers, typically we're going to grow them closer together for a cut flower garden. When you grow plants closer together, you're going to get longer stems and smaller blooms. Now, you're like, you hear the words smaller blooms, you're like, but I don't want smaller blooms. I want nice big ones. Well, when you're growing sunflowers, you don't need sunflowers that are this big for a bouquet. Those just don't really work well for a design. You need sunflowers that are about the 4 to 5 inch range. So growing plants, zinnias, sunflowers, celosias grow closer together, gives you longer stems and smaller bloom heads, which make it easier to design with those bouquets later on. So a few examples of spacing for, let's stick with zinnias, sunflowers, and celosia like we were just talking about. Spacing for zinnias is about 6 to 12 inches apart. That will equal longer stems, smaller blooms. Sunflowers about 6 to 9 inches apart. Once again, will equal longer stems, smaller blooms. And celosia about 6 to 9 inches apart as well. So in a cutting garden, we often plant closer than a traditional garden space. Why do we do that? It encourages taller stems as they reach for the light. It maximizes the space that you have, and it reduces branching at the base and encourages more branching up high, which is going to produce more blooms in the end. All right, let's talk about succession planting, which is the secret to having cut flowers throughout your entire season. This is a game changer if you're willing to do succession planting. Instead of planting everything at once, plant in waves every 2 to 3 weeks. All right. Then you have mature plants, and you're planting less mature plants beside it. All right. And then they're all growing like this. Right. So once these maximize out, then these start to catch up, and then your next round starts to catch up as well. This is how you go from one big flush of flowers to continuous blooms all season long. All right. So let's chat about a simple layout idea. For a small space, divide your bed into sections. Divide it into a zinnia section, a sunflower section, and a celosia section, or plant in rows for an easy harvest. I suggest not mixing them all up. I definitely run into people and they're like, sunflower mixed with zinnias, mixed with celosia. That is definitely a look and a style, but if you're trying to create a nice, productive cut flower garden, growing them in patches of one particular variety or rows of one particular variety is going to make it more successful for you in the end. Think of your garden as a system, not a random planting. All right, a big one, cutting equals more flowers. Cutting blooms encourages more blooms, especially for varieties such as zinnias and celosia. The more you cut on them, the more blooms they're going to produce. Now, sunflowers, depending on the variety, you'll have a single stem sunflower with one bloom on it, or you'll have a branching variety. Sunflowers do have to be succession planted over time. Once you cut them, pull the plant out and plant a new seed in its place. Begin cutting on zinnias, cosmos, basil, and celosia once they reach about the 12 to 18 inch range. That will encourage more branching and will encourage more blooms for you. All right, and for my beginners, keep it simple. That is the perfect beginner mindset. Avoid overwhelming yourself and your garden. Start with 2 to 3 flower types to explore, one small bed or area of your garden, and a very simple layout. You don't need to have a huge plan. You just need to start to learn. So just a very few varieties, a small area, see what success or what struggles you have that first year, and then build on that for the next season. Okay, and a few common mistakes I want to touch on. Planting too many varieties at one time just leads to chaos when you're starting a cut flower garden. Keep it simple. Pick a few varieties that you love and really focus on those. Not succession planting. If you don't succession plant, you will not have blooms throughout the entire season. If you choose not to succession plant, that's fine. You're going to have one big, beautiful burst of blooms. You can cut, you can enjoy them, and then it's over, all right? But if you want to have blooms throughout the entire season, you must succession plant. Spacing them too far apart will not maximize your space for a smaller garden. Remember, typically for cut flowers, we like to space them closer together in order to have taller stems and smaller blooms that are easier to design bouquets with. And then one other common mistake is not cutting flowers early enough. Don't allow them to grow 4 or 5 feet before you cut the initial first flower. Go ahead and cut the flowers earlier on, encourage more branching, and encourage more blooms. Cut flower gardens are meant to be productive, not perfect. So I want to make sure that you understand that distinction. A cut flower garden is different than what you might be growing in your garden beds for landscaping purposes. All right. So if you've ever dreamed of walking outside and cutting your own bouquet, you absolutely can, even in a small space. It's just having those few key starter elements to lead you to success. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that it's inspiring and encouraging to you all. When I first started growing cut flowers, I started with a very small area, just a little like 3 foot by 6 foot bed. It was lovely and I was hooked after that. And now I've been growing cut flowers for years and I just absolutely love growing them out in my garden, harvesting them, bringing them in, designing and living with them for weeks after. Just wonderful to watch it go from that tiny seed to fruition of a beautiful flower. All right, if you were starting a cut flower garden today, what flowers would you grow first? And I'm very interested to hear what everybody has to say, especially a lot of those experienced gardeners out there. Talk to us about what cut flowers you would grow first. Very interested. I'm hoping that I'm seeing some unique varieties that I have not noticed before. All right, and if you are like me and you would like to if you are like me and you're on a gardening journey and you would like to do that with some gardening friends, be sure to check out my Patreon community. The link is in the video description below. It is just a great group of people who love to talk about gardening. There is a free tier you can join in under, and there is one paid tier. The paid tier is called Certified Mad Gardeners. And if you become a Certified Mad Gardener, you get access to exclusive videos only available to patrons, exclusive lives where we get to chat about what's going on that month of gardening, group chats, photo sharing, and direct messaging to me for any gardening questions you might have. I write you all, as always, she's a mad gardener or a decorator or anything else that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.